A Bookworm's Journey in the Cardinal World. Tensura X Ascendance of a Bookworm by Galaxycharmer123. 17 Walpurgis Part 4 Mines Pav. I was standing there when I came with Veldora to the Walpurgis room. It was very spooky but equally cool looking. There was an open roof and it was the sky. There were several doors, but from what I could tell it was not somewhere I knew. This is a separate space from our world, really, but the sky is right there? I don't know how it works, but we are definitely in another dimension right now. Also, I can feel that there are various people trying to analyze you. I unfortunately can't do anything. Is it some kind of problem? Yes, especially because of the leader of Demon Lords, Guy Crimson. He especially hates demi-spirits because they bring imbalance to the world. How so, and who is Guy? Well, Guy is the red primordial, much like Diablo the Black One. He is the strongest person along with Milim in this room, along with true dragons. It is rumored that he even challenged Star King Veldanava once. Regarding why he hates demi-spirits is because they can turn into true heroes very easily, as they only need to obtain a hero's egg and they can turn into a true hero and upset the world balance. He is the mediator and is responsible for maintaining balance in this world, so he particularly hates it when the balance disappears. I see any points to how to deal with him? Never start a conversation with him. Only reply when spoken to and don't mention his name if you don't want to be killed. You can only use his name after having given you his permission. Until then only use, "My lord," to reply to him. Got it. Suddenly Rimuru diverted his attention to me after having a chat with Veldora. Now why are you here, mine? Well, I heard you were in battle with Milim and I wanted to help you. I was trying to come up with some excuse but I couldn't. You know, mine, you are a terrible liar, you know that? I was quite embarrassed because I knew that it was true and I kept my head down. I decided to tell them but I omitted the parts that I was not supposed to tell. I was forced to bring Veldora here, but I am sorry that I can't tell who it was. I am under contract to not reveal that person's name. Let me guess, that person is probably Demon Lord Luminous, and she asked you to bring Veldora because she wanted revenge on him for destroying her city. I immediately went on alert. How did he know that Lord Luminous was also the maid here and also Demon Lord Luminous? I decided to talk to Lady Luminous about it. Lady Luminous, can you hear me? It's mine. Yes, I can hear you. Congratulations, you actually managed to get him here, not that I was expecting it. Per our deal I will teach you a new spell. Thank you, Lady Luminous, but that is not the reason why I contacted you. It seems Lord Rimuru already knows about you. That's no problem, after it was I who personally gave your soul to her. I see, I understand. Don't try to talk with Guy or anyone else here, for that here consider this a warning from. I already know. Thank you, Lady Luminous. Suddenly Rimuru decided to reply after understanding my situation from what he could see. Fine, but stay out of harm's way. You are not yet trained to fully fight back now. I will. I decided to stand in the sidelines and become thin as air, but it seemed like that was not enough, as it seemed as Guy was keeping a careful eye on me all the time and he seemed to watch my every move, which made me even more scared. I could sense he was hiding his own strength by giving out a fake aura, but that aura was also terrifying in itself and I was feeling very nervous about it. Time skip. I was now sitting in a separate room along with Rimuru, Veldora, Shio and Diablo. Rimuru had finished off Clayman. I still remember it clearly and I was genuinely scared. I will never try to go against Rimuru if I can help it. Suddenly it appeared we had some visitors. It was Lady Luminous and Lady Hinata, leader of Western Holy Church and the Crusader Knights. She had a reputation for herself as the strongest knight who always fought on the side of humanity, so it was pretty strange to see her serve a vampire. I got up and knelt to Lady Luminous and Lady Hinata and greeted them. I was a priestess before, so I was taught the rules on how to greet your superiors. No need for greetings. I am not present here today as the leader of the knights but as an attendant to Lady Luminous. Speaking of which, Hinata, why are you serving Demon Lord Luminous here, and why are you here in the first place? Well, there are several reasons, the first of which was for me to come to you to apologize for targeting you. Because of me you were late and were unable to save your countrymen from harm. Worst off, we were also responsible for attacking your nation. I came here today after I requested Lady Luminous to allow me to attend this Walpurgis because I knew you would be attending and I wanted to know you better. I was told that you killed my master Shizu from some of my informants. This clouded my judgment, and since you were a monster I decided to not hear your side of the story. My actions have caused you and your nation great harm. I am asking you to punish me and only me. I was responsible for clearing the attack on Tempest and for personally attacking you. Please punish me but leave the Western Holy Church and the night out of this." Hinata said all this while performing a dogiza. From this I could tell that Hyunta was also a Japanese person, as was Rimuru, who was startled by this apology. "You know Hinata, I would have died had Luminous not intervened in time. That burst of energy was me burning all my magicules at once. I was extremely angry and not thinking strategically. If you had stalled for time you would have been killed. I was lucky to have survived, you know. Regarding Shizu, if you want I can show you how she died and what her final wish was. Do you want to see?" Hinata was surprised by this gesture from Rimuru and decided to accept. "I accept. I also wish to know what really happened." While Rimuru was busy talking to Hinata, Lady Luminous decided to approach me. "Hello there mine, how are you holding up here?" "I am doing fine, Lady Luminous. I am also sorry that your identity was exposed." Yes, Lady Luminous, the maid behind Demon Lord Valentine, was actually Demon Lord Valentine was exposed by Veldora. He suddenly saw Lady Luminous and blurted out that he remembered her but forgot her name. Demon Lord Milam, not understanding the situation, said in front of everyone that Luminous was hiding herself. Lady Luminous was forced to identify herself as Demon Lord Luminous, but the only ones who were shocked by this were Demon Lord Carrion and Frey. It seemed all the others knew who she was and that she was just having a proxy acting on her behalf. Forget about it. I really hate Veldora and Milam, but I am powerless before them. They would kill me if I were to fight them. Now about our deal. What kind of skill or spell do you want to learn? I had thought about this, and then came the images of how I had died and how Rimuru fought tooth and nail and even killed 20,000 humans to gather the power to revive his countrymen. Lady Luminous, I want to learn the spell for resurrection. Ah, that spell, are you sure? Yes, Lady Luminous, I am sure. Very well, come. While Rimuru was showing Hinata all the memories of Shizu, Lady Luminous taught me how to use the resurrection spell. With this spell I can even revive my friends and family even if they were to die. Remember, mine resurrection spell only works if the person has just died or is very close to dying. If you are too late, that person will die, do you understand? Yes, Lady Luminous. Good, seeing how Hinata has still not finished her talk with Rimuru, let me teach you another spell. This is a healing spell. It is not as potent as the potions which Rimuru uses, but this spell works on everyone including physical and spiritual beings. Should the time come, this spell will become very handy to you. I am forever grateful, Lady Luminous. Now this is the spell Spirit Healing. This spell uses your spiritual energy and holy power for healing. With this my lesson is complete. Are there any questions you want to ask? Yes, you see, my sister has lost her faith in you and has started believing the old gods who used to be worshipped in our duchy. But it seems like she is still able to use holy energy. Can you please explain why? Holy energy is basically me lending my energy to you. You get you energy by praying to me, so I assume that she is also receiving energy from the gods she is praying to. That said, the gods in your duchy were from another world. I don't know how their energy is reaching her here. I will investigate this. It would seem that someone has invaded our world. Mine, I will talk with Guy about this. Promise that apart from Rimuru you will no tell another soul what we discussed here. I understand and promise you, Lady Luminous. Should you break your promise you will find that you have lost all the knowledge you gained from me now. I understand and I promise that I will tell Rimuru and Rimuru only, Lady Luminous. Good, now come. It seems that Hinata and Rimuru has finished their discussion. I returned with Lady Luminous to see Rimuru and Hinata, who were finishing their talk. Thank you, Rimuru, for showing me my master's final memories. I can now rest easy that she was not disappointed in me. Well, I was asked to take care of you and the children. That was her final wish, so there is nothing to worry about. Now about the negotiations, I am going to send you a message where I will invite you to Tempest to talk it out, and then we can have a duel where we will pretend to reach a tie, and that way we both will be able to conserve our reputation. Very well, I will be waiting for that message. Well then, let us go back to the meeting. There is not much time left. Mine, is your work with Luminous done? Yes, I have finished my work here. Well, stay back here and I'll call you when it is time for us to go back. Yes, I'll stay here and practice magic with Veldora. I could see that Lady Luminous looked visibly frustrated but didn't say anything. I went inside with Veldora while Rimuru and Luminous went outside. Rimuru's pav. Hey Luminous, I really wanted to ask, why did you save mine? I could have saved her as is was. Well, I was spying on your city for a long time. You were developing a city in the middle of Jura Forest and that caught my interest. We have a mutual non-aggression pact and also not attack other countries, so I didn't do anything when the paladins attacked. I took mine as a bargaining chip to appease you and also because she caught my interest, that's all. I see, by the way, Hinata, I have a favor to ask of you. Yes, what is it? You see, mine and her sister Tuli are going to live forever and they don't have skills, and Tuli is trying to become a saint. Can you help both of them in spirit techniques, as you are the only one I know of? No problem, but I can't start now, that will have to wait after we have our conference in a few days. I will be waiting for your message. Expect it soon then. Now let us return to Walpurgis. I went to the Walpurgis room and the meeting started anew. Now let's restore everything to normal. I take out the round table from stomach and place it properly. It was the right call to absorb it to protect it from breaking. If we had broken out fighting without such preparation in the fighting area, it would definitely damage the table. It looks quite expensive, so I have no intention to compensate for breaking it. The demon lords return to the round table while the two maids working for Guy begin to serve everyone with black tea. Our topic of discussion today is the betrayal of Carrion and the rise of the Rimuru guy over there. And all these issues have been resolved. Carrion never betrayed us and Rimuru has shown power worthy of the role of Demon Lord. I think the meeting is done so far. But since it's a rather rare occasion, does anyone have any suggestions? Frey begins to speak, seemingly awaiting that line. Could you allow me to speak for a moment? Right now we are in the middle of our meeting, so I have a suggestion to make, or rather, a request to make, I suppose. Fair enough, have it you. Seeing Guy has approved, Frey nods and proceeds. From today onward, I've decided to follow Milam's rule. Based on that, I would like to give up my seat as a demon lord. Such it's the big shocker she just tossed out. Oi, why are you saying this all of a sudden? Wait, Frey, how come I never heard you mention anything about this? Indeed, I've kept silent, but I've been thinking about it for some time now. Frey squeezes her eyes and drifts afar as she speaks. Anyhow, there's a lot of reasons for why. But the most important one of them is that I feel like I am too weak to be a demon lord. After witnessing that battle just now, I was further convinced. If I am to fight against Clayman, I could barely manage to make it a draw in the end. Not to add that Clayman became awakened mid-fight, so there's no way I could have won. But Frey, aren't you good at high-speed aerial combat? Is there really a need to look down on yourself like that? De Gruel tries to defend her, but Frey seems already determined. Indeed, I'm more advantageous in aerial combat. But that's no excuse for not being a demon lord. Moreover, I know it's not enough to just have some advantages. Upon saying so, Frey peeks at me. So, that's why I decided to work under Milam. Besides, Milam can't always act so stubborn, right? She needs to learn how to run her own territory now, shouldn't she? That means Frey isn't saying so just for her own sake. Milam is indeed a dangerous individual that can't be let loose on her own. There needs to be someone who can assist her and watch over her. Frey understands her shortcoming, but in my view, she's not as weak as she describes. It can be said that she is a different type of strategist from Clayman, one whose ideas can't be seen through. It's quite terrifying when you think about it. Anyhow, she is the typical type of person that lets you go, women are terrifying. I suppose that's why I feel she's particularly scary. But what would really happen if that's the case, Frey serving Milam? If she is no longer a demon lord but proceeds as a servant, her combat ability is undoubtedly worthy of Milam. There is no recognized nation under Milam's name, but would she now possess territory once Frey becomes her subordinate? When the time comes for me to build an alliance with Milam's country, the engagement may be complicated with Frey's involvement. Or rather, it would be more interesting that way. So, do you accept my proposition? Frey looks towards Milam as she continues her speech. But I don't want our friendship to end like that. If you become my subordinate, you will no longer be my friend. Milam doesn't know what to do, but as she attempts to reject the proposition. Hold your horses. I've got something to say about this as well. With such a statement, Carrion joins in their conversation. I, too, have lost to Milam during a duel. I think life is all about being straightforward, so I want to surrender to her. In terms of our titles, the demon lords have the same place. It's a different case when fighting against a chosen hero, but now I've lost to another demon lord, so I ought to step down. Which means there's no excuse for me to keep being a demon lord. That's why I'll be Milam's subordinate from now on. Please take care of me, boss. This one just decides to straight up ignore her personal will. I understand that power is everything to all the demon lords, but this is just. Milam doesn't take any subordinates and so she won't get objections from them. But now suddenly 2 current demon lords fall under her reign. How does that even make any sense? Wait a second, Carrion. The duel thing was all Clayman's doing. I was manipulated. I've got nothing to do with that. I don't think an excuse like that would work, Milam. The other demon lords are also looking at her, dumbfounded. Hey now, stop lying. You did just say, it's impossible to manipulate me, and you said it so confidently. Carrion's impersonation is really on point and was able to reenact Milam's words. I'm surprised he turns out to be so talented. That was. It's okay, don't mind that idiot who's all brawn and no brain, you will take me in right, Milam? Why you are saying that hoping to trick me, right? Becoming my minister or underling, and you won't talk to me like an equal again, right? And you won't play with me or do pranks with me either. Frey shakes her head hearing Milam's words. That's not true. We get to be together forever in that way. And we get to do more fun things together. She begins to brainwash Milam with such things, trying to instigate her. You see, it's this type of thing that makes you cautious around her. As for Carrion, he does have a strong personal style and cuts to the trace. Bottom line is, it's all because you've trashed my kingdom to shreds. Rimuru-san promised to help us, but you'd also have the duty to take care of us. I don't think that type of duty exists, but Milam seems to be clueless against this type of logic. Carrion is surprisingly witty. Milam seems to have taken Carrion's words for it and almost fainted. But then she bursts out as if she doesn't want to care about any of this anymore. So annoying. All right, whatever you guys want. Smoke begins to flow out from Milam's head like the eruption of a volcano. Milam's brain has stopped working. Sasuga Milam. She seems smart but never actually uses her brain. Carrion, do you really wish to do that? Of course. I've thought it through a lot already. I don't intend to retire from being the king of the Beast Kingdom. I merely wish to pursue Milam and build up a new system with her at the top. Carrion gave a simple and clear answer to Guy's question. I was rather fond of you. Perhaps you'll also awake given another couple 100 years and I was looking forward to it. Guy sighs through his nose and says so with disappointment. But he immediately switches to a smile and announces. Very well. From now on, Frey and Carrion are no longer demon lords. You two can go serve Milam as you desire. With Guy's words out, the two are officially released from the duty of demon lord. No one present seems to object. And of course, I'm none the wiser. And so, I've officially been approved and inaugurated as demon lord. I eliminated another one alongside with the retirement of 2 others, who decided to be Milam's subordinates. The 10 great demon lords are now 8 great demon lords. And just as I thought the meeting was over, there seems to be another issue to resolve in the end. I said it without much care and started the whole ordeal. Oh yeah, so it's not 10 great demon lords anymore. This quickly sparked responses from all the demon lords. That's quite annoying indeed. It's a matter of prestige, so we've got to come up with a new title. Dagruel says so. Is it really that important? Glad that the banquet has yet to be dismissed. Now that all the demon lords are gathered, we may come up with some good ideas. Even Luminous, who doesn't take jokes lightly, begins to follow with a serious expression. Oi, we don't need to be that cautious with something like titles. Even if we let it slide, the humans will definitely make up names for us by themselves. We've drained our brain doing this last time. Every time we decide to change our name the number of members just keeps fluctuating. And then several banquets just pass with no result. Did you guys seriously hold the banquet just for some boring trivia like that? I recall Ramirez was exaggerating when she mentioned that the banquet is a special meeting that all demon lords must attend. That doesn't seem right, or is it just simply a tea party in the beginning? I feel whatever changes would be okay. Yeah, like the last title, 10 Great Demon Lords, was in the end how the humans call us. We wasted so much brain cells just trying to come up with a name. So leave me out of this one, I've got no more strength to spare. No, whether you can do it is a different thing. You are just too lazy to think at all. So stop saying that as if you've gone through much serious contemplation. Quiet, people. All you've been doing is complaining. There isn't anything constructive at all. What do you mean by that? Luminous. You sure talk when you pushed all the work to Roy. After asking around, I learnt that it took them several years to settle for a name last time. But as they were halfway through, the humans began to call them 10 Great Demon Lords. Thus, the Demon Lords in favor of naming drastically decrease. As long as they can come up with a good name, they seem to be fine with moderating the number of Demon Lords. And so they decided to use the title officially, but not everyone was fine with how it sounded. That's one nonchalant info. You guys need to calm down now. It is time like this we need to show some camaraderie to sail through difficult times together, unlike how we usually behave. Guy was straight to the point about their lack of unity most days. Ramirez begins to mumble to herself hearing Guy's word. But this time is 8 great. Even though she says so, her mumbling dies down under the immense silent pressure exerted by the rest of the crowd. She then restarted with something else. Ah yes. What a great speech by Guy. Let's work hard together now. Everyone seems to be against the title 8 Great Demon Lords. But this is not a symbol of unity. Wahaha. I'll leave this task to you. I'm tired, time for bed. It didn't take long before the unfitting bunch started to appear one by one. But I should have guessed that they are indeed Demon Lords. I'd say it would be an impossible mission to unite them all, and my guess was right. However, someone suddenly appeared to break this awkward atmosphere. Oh, if that's the issue, my friend Rimuru is pretty good at it. It's Veldora. Veldora, who has started to feel bored and wanted to go back soon, said this out of nowhere. Oh no, the Demon Lords' eyes now have all fixated on me. Why don't you go read your damn manga instead of spilling nonsense here? But, could it be that he has finished all his manga? Even the last volume. Milam has her eyes locked on Veldora, no, Veldora's manga in his hands. Those eyes are sharper than those of eagles when locking on prey, causing me to feel a lot of unease. But it's not the time to worry about that. Someone agreeing with Veldora appears. It's Ramirez. Speaking of that, he also named my Beretta super fast. Now she's tossed me the hot potato with all that nonsense. While I turn unconsciously, the rest of the Demon Lords are also looking at me with expectation. This is bad. I've been surrounded. The Demon Lords exchange looks, and Guy stands up to speak in everyone's name. Rimuru, as the newly risen Demon Lord, today I shall grant you an epic special privilege. Ah, no thanks. I don't need that. I attempt to cut him up as soon as possible. However, my imaginations were too naive. Chong dong. As I hear the loud noise, the giant round table that reflects with textures of obsidian and looks quite expensive is now severed in half by someone. Guy ignores my rejection with a smile and continues. Of course you need it, the privilege to create a new title for us. This is a great honor, you must really want to accept it, right? He walks towards me casually and proclaims to me and fondles my cheek. Is this some sort of flighty display to ask for a favor? Although he looks gentle like water, his tone sounds irrefusable. I am speechless. Neither could I accept, nor could I reject, so I decided to exercise my rights to remain silent, however. Guy starts to push against my cheek hard with his fingers, while biting my ears and whispers, by the way, aren't you the way causing our layoffs of members today? You will take responsibility and help think up a name now, won't you? It may seem to the rest of us as some lover wanting to get spoiled, but it's not the case at all. This is a threat. Alas, I couldn't refuse anyway considering how everything went. I can't believe how troublesome this has become. Never mind. All right. Gosh. Then don't complain later that you don't like the name I make. I took the task with much unwillingness after giving up struggling. The Demon Lords are all with smiling faces as if saying, that's great, now we are reassured. Some people even ask for more tea and decide to rest from then on. They always like to push their work to other people. Fine then, I won't care about them either. We are 8 Demon Lords in total, so 8 Great Demon Lords is okay. But it seems a bit too straightforward. Whatever Ramirez was just about to say is probably 8 Great Demon Lords, so I'd refrain from using that. After all, you could feel the immense pressure emitted from the rest of the group, telling her to stop. I definitely won't make it now if I get those threatening stares. So, 8 great demon lords is a no-go, then. Speaking of which, tonight is the new moon. The shining stars in the night sky are very pretty. Hey, how about the octagram? You know, like an 8-pointed star? It was greeted by silence, the demon lords closing their eyes and scrutinizing the word. Then they all reopened them in unison. That would be it, it sounds very nice. We can definitely win with this name. A new age has arrived. That's right, I know Rimuru could do it. You sure know your stuff. As expected from the candidate nominated by Veldora. Oh, sounds all right. Then I shall agree with you a little. You got it in an instance. That's pretty cool. I don't know why we wasted so much time on this last time. Quote. Dino approval sound. There doesn't seem to be any objection. That's great. And if anyone would like to object, I'll have him think of a name. Although I don't know who Milam is trying to compete with or win. It's a bit concerning, but I won't go after it. Also Dino, I want to ask you, what the blaze were you all discussing before? Some of the people here's reaction raises a lot of question for me, but I managed to play dumb like an adult to make it through. Just like that. From the moment onward, the demon lords introduced themselves with a new title to be respected by the world. We were called the Octagram. Demon, Lord of Darkness, Guy Crimson. Dragonoid, Destroyer, Milam Nava. Fairy, Fairy of Labyrinth, Ramirez. Titan, Continent's Wrath, Dagruel. Vampire, Queen of Nightmares, Valentine. Fallen Angel, Sleeping Ruler, Dino. Ex-Human, Platinum Saber, Leon Cromwell. Monster, Newbie, Rimuru Tempest. But first, we need to divide territory. My domain would be the entirety of Jura Great Forest. That's a nice treatment. But, Milam got it better. The combined territory of Frey, Carrion and Clayman is now under Milam's control. But she only rules it in name. The inner work of the territory would be run by Carrion, Frey and the worshippers of Dragon who follow Milam. In addition, the previous territory belonging to Clayman now falls in the buffer zone with the territory of the Eastern Empire. They must investigate how he has run it and build up a defense line. That seems to be a difficult and time-consuming job. However, that would be Milam's worries. I'd rather prioritize my work at hand. The rest of the demon lords' territory remain the same. Some of which simply wanders around without territory, some of which hides their territory, or lives in a different continent. As such, no one really knows about other people's territory, and thus there's no notion of changing. These demon lords all act according to their wishes and have their own means of communication. The ring I received is the proof of being a demon lord. Not only can it identify the person itself, it is able to make cross-spacetime communication with other demon lords. It even has the secret call function for individuals, and also the ability to make a group call. What a convenient magical item. With this ring, Demon Lord's Ring, you can even make a call from Infinite Prison. Since it's so convenient, I would like to put it in, analyze and assess and mass produce it. But that would be a secret. After Clayman's conspiracy, the series of unrest within the Jura forest, these are all finally settled. I've gained approval and become a new demon lord. Although Clayman's master, Kozalime, does raise concern for me, the issues regarding the demon lords are at last resolved. As such, I've become a member of Octagram. After our discussion was done, it was time for the banquet. Just as Ramirez had said, the Walpurgis banquet was meant for the demon lords to communicate and also to exchange intelligence. Perhaps it is for such a reason that they've prepared an additional venue for the sole purpose of leisure. However, there doesn't seem to be a rule stating that everyone has to be there for refreshment activities. Some left as soon as the meeting ended, while others stayed behind to enjoy the delicious food prepared by the staff. The remainder split into small groups to discuss topics of their own. The demon lords are all attending to their own interests. I personally find this opportunity to be rare and decided to taste the food. To be honest, I'm quite interested in Guy's diet considering his ruler status among the demon lords. As it turns out, the food is delicious beyond belief. I enjoyed the world-renowned cuisines to my heart's content. Report. Component analysis complete. It is now possible to recreate the recipe's black tiger stew, grilled sage rooster, golden peach sherbet, and roast earth dweller dragon steak. And at the same time, I am also secretly learning the recipes. The ingredients are all from monsters above rank A, so it would be difficult to collect them all. But I have already recorded the recipes, so we can take care of that one way or another. Lastly, they served a mixed fruit platter. There are a total of 6 demon lords who remained to attend the feast itself: Guy, Milam, Ramirez, Dino, Dagruel and myself. Valentine and Leon left long ago. While Milam was devouring the assorted dishes, I went to complain to her about deceiving me. She tried to play dumb, but I wasn't having any of it. As for Carrion and Frey, we decided to discuss our future plans on another occasion. Once the post-war settlements have been resolved, I am also willing to advise them on the reconstruction of their cities and any other issues that may come up. Their respective kingdoms' structure has been renewed with Milam as their new leader. Hopefully, this works out well for us too. Ramirez is still stubborn about wanting to live in my kingdom despite my firm denial, but I can tell from her eyes that she is willing to fight my decision to the bitter end. She also seems to think Trainee-san will come to her aid, since she seems to really adore Ramirez. Trainee-san has been spoiling Ramirez with everything she has, so I probably can't expect much from her. I will have to keep note of this in the future. Dagruel and Veldora are having a good chat, and so are Guy and Dino, who are having a cheerful discussion about their daily lives. Before the feast, I offered them a special product from the Tempest Federation, brandy distilled from grape wine. It's one of my tactics to improve our image, which is to spread the words of our unique product and have an upper hand in diplomacy. This strategy appears to be very effective, even against demon lords. Delicious. Oh, this is great, cough cough. Tea, this stuff is way too strong. Dino coughs painfully on the side while Guy and Dagruel sang their praises. On another note, Veldora-kun, could you please refrain from drinking all of our products in one go? Even though I still have a bunch of them stored in my stomach, those aren't for you. As for Milam, let's just say I won't be letting her drink anytime soon. The situation would undoubtedly spiral out of control if I let her drink. And considering the fact that she tricked me before, I'm not particularly keen on allowing Milam to drink. Then I shall take the drink. Within the blink of an eye, Ramirez plastered herself onto the wineglass, being so small, and became dead drunk in an instant. Beretta and Trainee-san came forth wearing panicked expressions, so I decided to leave Ramirez in their care. She's been pestering me to return to Tempest with her, so it may even be good for me if she falls asleep. With that being said, the feast concludes, and we decide to leave before Ramirez wakes up. Ah, Rimuru, I will visit your country sometime. It has been a few years since that duchy, Ehrenfest, suddenly appeared. I want to hear what actually happened over there, and I believe that the girl who came with Veldora was from there. Yes, she is. Mine was hiding behind me, refusing to make eye contact with Guy. Yes, she is. I will like to talk to her sometime, but I am currently not in the mood. Invite me sometime, okay? Very well, come during the Foundation Festival when I will declare myself a demon lord in public. You really like to play with those humans, huh? Very well, I will come then. Like that, I had new guest for my Foundation Festival. It is going to be very lively indeed.